If you've just been promoted to a manager and now have to run a team meeting and feel completely unprepared, that feeling is more common than you think. And it almost always comes down to the same three moments. And after working in HR and being a manager myself, I can tell you exactly what they are and what to do instead. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do before, during, and after your team meeting without winging it. And stay with me through the third one, because that's the one most managers overlook, and it's quietly driving why their meetings keep falling flat. So let's start with the first one, because it sets the tone for everything else. The first moment is the room is reading you before you even say a word. Here's what nobody tells you about your first meeting as a new manager. The moment you walk through the door, your team is already forming an opinion about you. Not based on your ideas and not even based on your agenda, but based on how you carry yourself. It's about those nonverbal cues. Do you seem rushed? Do you seem nervous? Are you trying too hard to seem confident? They pick up on all of it. Now, this isn't about being fake. It's about being intentional. And the biggest mistake new managers make is they focus so much on what they're going to say that they completely ignore how they're going to show up. So here's how to fix this. Before your first meeting, you need to get clear on one thing. What do you want people to feel when they leave that room? Do you want them to feel confident in you as their manager? Do you want them to feel heard or clear on direction? That feeling starts the moment you arrive, not when you start talking. So get there early and greet everyone individually. Don't bury yourself in notes or be nowhere to be found when your team arrives. And let the room breathe a little. These might sound like small things, but they signal that you're present, prepared, and you're not rattled. I've seen new managers walk into their first team meeting over-prepared with a 10-slide deck and a 6-item agenda, and still lose the room in the first 2 minutes because they seemed frantic. And on the flip side, I've seen managers walk in with almost nothing written down and immediately command respect because they were calm and focused. Being present is a skill, and like any skill, you can work on it. So start with this. Before you walk in, take 30 seconds and breathe. That one step alone has helped me so much with calming my nerves and staying present before a team meeting. Now, once you've got your presence locked in, the next mistake most new managers make is actually about their agenda, but it's not in the way that you'd expect. Your agenda is not a to-do list. Most new managers treat their meeting agenda like a checklist. Show up, tick through the items, and wrap up. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable. But here's the problem with that. A to-do list agenda turns your meeting into a status report. And nobody needs to sit in a room for that. You could just send that in an email. The purpose of a team meeting is to create alignment and make sure that we're working on the right problems and that we leave with a shared clarity. So when you're building your agenda, ask yourself this question. What are the things that I need the team to work through together? Once you've got that, those are your agenda items. So not just an update on Q2, but instead, Q2 is down 8%. What's driving it and what can we do about it? See the difference there? The first one is a report and the other is a conversation. So for your first team meeting especially, I'd keep it simple. 3 or 4 agenda items max. Lead with something quick and low stakes to warm up the room and put your most important discussion item in the middle because that's when the energy in the room is the highest. And save the last few minutes for what comes next. Whether that's decisions that were made or actions that are assigned or who's doing what by when. And here's what nobody tells you. That last part, the close, is where most meetings fall apart. You could have a great conversation and still walk out with nobody clear on what just happened. So build the close into your agenda from the start. And also send the agenda in advance. 24 hours is good enough. It tells your team that you're organized, you respect their time, and you've thought about this through. And that part matters more than you think when you're new. Okay, so now you've got your presence and you've got a real agenda. Now here's the part that actually determines whether your team trusts you or just tolerates you. And most managers don't realize this until it's too late. Your job in the meeting is to listen more than you talk. New managers almost always do the same thing in their first team meeting. They talk too much. And I get it, and I've been there myself. You're trying to establish yourself, and you want to show that you have ideas and a plan and that you're capable of leading. And honestly, in some ways, you're trying to prove that to yourself. So you fill the silence, or you answer your own questions, or you present instead of facilitating the conversation. But here's the truth. Nothing undermines your credibility faster than a manager who dominates every conversation. That behavior actually signals insecurity, and your team will feel it even if they never say anything about it. The managers who earn respect quickly are the ones who ask good questions and then actually listen to the answers. They create a space for other people to think out loud, and they don't rush to have the last word. So, in your first team meeting, plan to speak less than half the time. And I know that might feel a little uncomfortable, but do it anyway. So, come prepared with 2 or 3 genuine questions you actually want the team's input on. Things like, what's one thing that's been slowing you down lately that I should know about? Or what's working well that we should keep doing? These questions tell your team that you're actually paying attention and that you want to understand their reality before making any decisions that could impact it. And here's another thing, when someone shares something with you, don't just nod and move on. Take that moment to reflect back and ask them some follow-up questions and make it clear that you heard them and facilitate a conversation. That's how trust gets built, not in big moments, but in small ones repeated over time. I had a manager once that ran his first team meeting exactly like that. He asked questions, took notes, and barely gave any direction at all. And at the end of the meeting, I remember him saying something like, I'm not going to pretend I have everything figured out, but I'm paying attention and I want to get this right. And that moment really stuck with me because it felt like he really cared. And that's the kind of first impression that actually sticks. So here's a quick recap. Running your first team meeting isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. So show up and be present. Before you say a word, you're already communicating. And build an agenda that creates real conversation, not just a rundown of updates. And probably the most important one is listen more than you talk, because the fastest way to earn trust is to make people feel genuinely heard. Once you get through your first team meeting, drop a comment below and tell me how it went. And if you want to know what mistakes new managers make without even realizing it, that video is right here. You should watch that one next. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now. We talk about what managing people actually looks like in the real world. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.